So, the good news is...
Yes.
Even with all of this happening to you...
Yes.
You were still able to join us today.
Yes. I went down into the basement to look for lavalier mics and thought, I might not make it to this movie, but what happens if I crash out again?
Yeah. We made it to the movie.
We made it to the movie.
And now let's lay a little groundwork. So we did a watch and review for Mortal Kombat 1.
We did do a watch and review.
Yes.
Yep. Back in the halcyon days when it was just released on HBO Max, like same day.
Yes.
Because it was post-pandemic, and
That's
they were just
right,
like,
it was post-pandemic.
we just got to make money on this thing, man. I don't care how, I don't
Yep.
care where, I don't care when. We just got to make money on it.
I forgot that it was like that.
Yep.
Well, it also plays a special moment in the heart of my lovely son Ethan.
Yes.
Because it was the official first... Like, okay, so Battle of the Five Armies, the extended version is technically R-rated.
I forgot that they made that R-rated.
Yeah.
I don't even know why.
There's a lot of heads getting lopped off.
But Star Wars showed us you can do that in PG movies.
Well, that's true. But Mortal Kombat 1 was his official first... Like, there's no doubt about it, this is an R-rated movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll never forget your response when Kung Lao was fighting. I can't remember who he was fighting in the movie, but he cuts him in half with his hat.
Oh,
and
the Harpy Woman.
The Harpy Woman. And Ethan's response was, oh, okay.
Yep.
Because he had never seen anything like that. And I'm like, oh, this is a proud moment. But ever since then, because you loved that movie, didn't you?
Yes.
And when we found out they were making a second one, I thought you were about to lose your mind. And you've been looking forward to this for a very long time, have you not?
Yes.
And you and I, Al, have been waiting for this for a very long time. And so everything came together.
Yes.
That this just happens to be his birthday weekend.
Yep.
And it came out 2 days before his birthday. I'm like, this is perfect. Luckily, you didn't break everything. We were able to go.
We were able to do it.
And we just came from Mortal Kombat 2.
Yes.
Which, Ethan, let's start off with you. What did you think of the movie?
I think it was a great movie. It was like, to me, it had like more like tournament vibes going into it. Because it actually was like a round-based thing where the original Mortal Kombat movie in this series,
Okay.
not the original
Not the OG
ones.
one, yeah.
Yeah. That one didn't have much of the tournament vibes.
Yes. It really didn't have any tournament.
Yeah. It was mainly a very, very big story-based movie.
Yes.
Or like character origin movie.
Yes. So now, this one, if you had to give it... So here's how we're going to do this, folks. We're not going to do a lot of spoilers. There's really not a lot to spoil in this movie.
It's a Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah. So, let's just say spoilers might happen, so just be prepared.
We might talk about some, what I'll call, interesting decisions in the third act of the movie.
Yes.
That's the closest I think we'll get to spoilers, is like things that you may have thought were going to happen in this movie that if we bring up, we might talk about how they didn't end up happening.
Yes. So, Ethan, if you had to give it a letter grade, what would you give it?
A.
Okay, solid A from Ethan. I would have to agree. I've been leaning between A or A+. I will stick with A. I'm going to say, as far as a live action movie, this might be the best video game adaptation. Just because it quite literally was a Mortal Kombat. Like, everything you wanted in that first movie is what we got in this one.
I completely agree with that.
And what do you think? I'm interested.
I have it at a B. Like a solid B.
Hey, a solid B is still good.
Closer to a B-, but we'll give it a little boost up for a B. There were a lot of decisions in the third act of this movie that I was kind of stymied by.
Okay.
And there were some decisions in terms of what we spent time on that I was kind of like, huh.
Okay.
I didn't think we needed that in this movie, but all right. The biggest one is the MacGuffin of this movie.
The amulet.
The amulet of Shirak, I want to say.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Shinnok.
Shinnok.
An element of the plot of this movie is that there is this MacGuffin the Outlanders want to use to turn Shao Kahn from a godlike creature to a god.
Yes.
I felt like that we were joking about the Odyssey trailer being a hat on a hat on a hat. I felt like that was kind of a hat on a hat of like, isn't Shao Kahn already kind of a god? Doesn't he kind of control life and death on his planet? Isn't he already enough of a threat? Do we need to make him more of a threat? And it just... I was expecting Goro. I was expecting... I can't remember what the centaur's name is. But like, I was expecting some of these bigger villainous characters to come in, and this movie is really all about Shao Kahn. There really isn't another villain. Even Shang Tsung shows up for like the hottest of minutes.
Yeah, he's only in a couple minutes.
And then he's like dealt with very quickly. He's just like...
See, I think the whole purpose of that MacGuffin is the movie, the writers had no idea how to include Scorpion and Sub-Zero. And they're like, we need something.
This was another thing.
But I can understand why they thought we can't have a Mortal Kombat movie without these two characters.
Oh, I agree. My thing is that the animated Mortal Kombat movies, as we talk about on this show very often, the animated version is a testing playground for what you can do in these movies. The Mortal Kombat animated movies are by no means perfect. But they do show you how you can incorporate all these elements. And even in the case of, like, Bihan dies at the end of the first one, they have, even that they've covered. Like, they have a plan for it. The character choices for Sub-Zero in this movie are baffling to me.
I was kind of wondering why
completely rewrite the character?
Not have him use his ice powers.
Why just he's not Sub-Zero
He's
anymore.
not Sub-Zero.
He's an entirely different character with an entirely different power set.
Yeah.
And he just happens to have the same name as Sub-Zero Bihan. That's where the similarities end. We don't even really see his face long enough for it to be meaningful. And the second version of himself is like a different guy, but not. It just felt like I didn't know what was going on with that section, and I didn't know why we needed to overcomplicate this. Just have it be Sub-Zero. You don't need to have it be something new. We wanted it to be Sub-Zero. Everybody wanted to see Sub-Zero. There's nothing about... Is it one of those things where like some producer was sitting there and being like, how can you have ice powers in hell? It's like, that's not what we're here for. Don't worry about that. That's not important. He has infernal ice powers. That's always been the case. So like, this is fine. I didn't understand this decision.
It was definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. If they didn't refer to him as Sub-Zero...
I would not have known that was Sub-Zero.
No, but I also would have... I did like the morphing into two different characters.
I love the concept.
I thought the concept was awesome.
By calling it Sub-Zero, you set a certain expectation.
I can understand on that.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite part of the movie, Ethan? Did you have like a scene that you loved?
Not really. I really think the entire movie was, like, as good as itself.
Okay.
So, like, there wasn't really one part that was better than another, but there isn't one part that's worse than another.
Yeah.
Did you
I think it's just a solid, good movie. So that's why it's not an A+, but it's an A.
I like that. That's a good rationale.
Now, did you like Carl Urban as Johnny Cage?
Yes.
Because now, do you recognize Carl Urban? He played Éomer in the Lord of the Rings movies, the Riders of Rohan.
The guy with the big spear. And who
remember at the
screams a
end
lot.
of Helm's Deep, he shows up with Gandalf with the whole Riders. He's the king's nephew.
He's the guy that shows up and circles around Aragorn and Gimli and Legolas. And he says, what do a dwarf, a man, and an elf have business to do in the Rittermark? Our business is our own.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I remember that. The second I heard our business is our own, I remember that.
Yeah, no, he was... And I loved that they threw in a Lord of the Rings reference.
Yeah.
Where he's looking at the amulet and he says, one ring rule. I was like, that was awesome!
That was great.
Yeah.
Carl Urban's the greatest.
I liked his relationship with Kano was good.
Yes. And I like how they played Kano in it.
Yeah.
Because they could have just made that, he's going to stab him in the back. He's like, no, he is what every bad guy that wants the world to burn, he's the one that's rational, saying, no, because I like beer, and I like women, and I like this.
It's the Lex Luthor effect. At the end of the day, if Darkseid is going to invade Earth, Lex Luthor will stand against him because Lex Luthor wants to rule Earth.
Yes.
And so Darkseid taking over is counter to that goal. And in the same way, Kano said, well, I don't want the world to be a barren ash wasteland, so yeah, I guess I'm on Team Earth now.
Yeah. But I liked him, and the guy was funny as hell.
I like this use of him. Yes. Because I felt like in the first one, there was just this sense when he showed up in the first one of like, why is Kano in so much of this movie?
Yeah.
And I felt like here it was a better use of him, of like, he's going to come in, he's going to say some funny things, he's going to leave. And then he's going to come in, he's going to say some funny things, and then he's going to leave. I thought that this worked really well.
But like you said, a lot that made it work was him and Carl Urban playing off one another.
Yeah.
So great.
Just the moment when he's like, you don't have powers?
Yeah, you don't have
He's
powers.
like, yeah, I'm an actor. What do you want from me?
He was so good. I gotta say, I was blown away and in awe, and I cannot wait to own this movie so I can watch this scene over and over again. The fight between Liu Kang and Kung Lao
That was really good.
was so incredible.
That was really good.
Not only was the fight great and the choreography, but just the scenery of all the blue light around them when they're like in this off-world.
Yeah,
that was amazing, and the fight was so intense and great.
I'm glad we finally got to see Final Destination from Super Smash Brothers.
Yes!
Movie.
Yeah.
That's what it was, very much.
That's what it was.
Dude,
and I like that the background changes depending on the aura and dynamic of the fight.
Yes.
I thought that was really cool.
Dude, it was so good. That was such a great scene.
Yeah.
Like, the fight scenes in this movie were spectacular.
Yeah.
Like, they're, it is what was better. I always will love the 95 one.
Yeah.
I have love for that movie. Fight scenes don't hold up. Because a lot of the actors don't know how to fight. Some did, some didn't.
And the graphics to use to amplify the fighting are not great.
No.
Scorpion's weird little hand thing that he does in that movie will never be...
Because of the CGI.
It's just not good. It's just not good.
The fight scenes were legit. And they were on point, and they were so good. I do have to admit... I don't necessarily love the end of Liu Kang. Because Liu Kang was great in this movie.
This was a tough one for me. This was one of the reasons it's a B, almost B minus. Uh-huh. The third act of that movie really screamed reshoots. And there were just a lot of moments where it felt like you had a room full of people trying to decide how to end this movie and no unified person at the head of it being like, oh, this is how the movie ends.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like this idea of like, oh, well, we have to have Liu Kang be the hero. Well, but we've been spending so much time with Katana, and she's really more the main character of this movie with Johnny Cage, and Johnny Cage is off doing this other thing, so we're going to have Katana be the hero at the end of the movie. And it's like, okay. But like this whole thing was set up with Liu Kang.
Yeah.
And like canonically, usually he's the guy. So it's fine. I just don't know that it felt like reshoots. It felt like they had an ending and they decided, no, you know what? We're going to change the ending. And Liu Kang just like leaves. He just dips.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, okay. I thought he was the guy though.
And it's like, and we're not like speaking outside of our mouth either, because the earlier scenes with him, I think it's said 3 or 4 times he's the greatest fighter on Earth.
They make it very clear that he is the last great hope of Earthrealm. And not for nothing, that's always the case. Like in every version of Mortal Kombat I've seen, Liu Kang is kind of soft the main character of the story. Whether it's the 95, whether it's the 97, whether it's... That was one of my issues with the first Mortal Kombat live-action movie, was that Liu Kang was introduced so late into it.
Yeah.
That it was just like, who is the main character of this movie? Is it Sonya? Is it Kano? Is it Cole? Is it Scorpion? Who am I supposed to be following in this? Because Liu Kang would usually take that role, and we didn't meet Liu Kang for the first 40 minutes of that movie.
And especially the first interaction he has with Shao Kahn.
Yeah.
Where he brings up the fire dragons. Yeah. And that was incredible. And I'm like, that's what this should end.
That's what I thought this was going to be.
That was such a great scene.
Yeah, and it's like, it's tough because I don't dislike where the movie ended.
Yeah.
I just found it kind of like a weird, divergent turn. Mm-hmm. It seemed like we were going in one very understandable direction, and then just like suddenly it was like, oh no, Lou's gone. He's just gone. He's not going to stay for the rest of this movie. And you're just like, okay. And they have this whole like thing where he says, oh, well, Raiden told me I was never going to defeat Shao Kahn. So like, this isn't my fight anymore, and I got to go take care of my brother instead. And it's like, okay, I get that. It just felt weird.
Yeah.
It'd be like if Harry Potter just left and is like...
Said Ron Weasley's going to take care of Voldemort.
Well, it's like, or like Neville. Neville's going to show up and like, oh, we've really been following Neville this whole time anyway, so he's going to be the one that does it. It's like, okay, there's satisfaction in that, definitely. But like, at the same time, you're kind of like, wasn't this the guy?
Yeah.
I thought this was the guy. So it's weird. It just, there were elements of this movie that felt a little off. Just like in terms of like, I'm not sure what the final vision for it was, but we got there in the end. So I can't be upset because watching Katana fight is just like her in the video games. Yeah. They did a great job. Watching all the characters fight is just like in the video games. They did a great job. The action sequences are excellent. The biggest thing was just like Shao Kahn has his giant hammer, and there were some moments, as somebody who just dislocated an arm, where like Liu Kang gets bashed with the hammer. I'm like, oh dude, you are not standing up. Yeah. You're not. I don't care who you are. I don't care what hope of Earthrealm you are. There's no way you're standing up after you just got hit with that thing. So I do like this movie. I just found some of it challenging.
I feel like the zombies or like the rebirth in this movie.
Yeah.
I wasn't really like catching on to that.
Yeah,
like,
the
necromancer was bringing.
Yeah, what did Katana call
Voldemort
it? Yeah,
reference.
the Voldemort Pennywise.
Oh yeah.
Calling him Pennywise. That was good.
It's like in the last movie, I truly believed that it was like Cole being the main character, and like.
Yeah.
Well, see, here's the thing, and we need to bring this up. There are a lot of Mortal Kombat fans that didn't like the first movie because it didn't have the combat fighting, or didn't have the tournament, and then 2, Cole was a created character. So what do they do in this one? They have the tournament, and Cole gets.
I felt bad for the guy who plays Cole. He didn't deserve that.
No, he doesn't deserve to get his head just demolished and just pushed. And then Jack says, "Oh, where's Cole?" It's the last he's ever
come back. Oh no! And it's like that's it. Nobody talks about Cole. Like they have this big moment. The moment he brings up his wife and daughter, it's like, "Oh, bye, Cole. Well, you're never going to see them again." You yourself are like, "I might never see them again." That sealed your fate. Saying that thing right there.
That's the same as like, "I retire in a week." Okay, you're dead.
Yeah, the moment when he's fighting Shao Kahn, he's like, "This is for all the blah blah." I'm like, "You are dead, man.
Yeah.
Every word you say, you are digging your grave that much deeper. Like you are so dead meat." And it's just, I don't know. I felt bad for the actor, honestly.
I do too. It's kind of the same as like the Jar Jar actor.
Yeah.
It's like it's not his fault.
No.
That it ended up the way it is. And like once again, I love the first Mortal Kombat movie, and I'm okay with Cole.
I like Cole as a concept character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think that the real problem is, and we talked a little bit about this with the Resident Evil trailer. I think the real problem is that there is a need in a fandom to get the core concepts right. Mm-hmm. And if you skip over core concepts for easy, quick solutions, like saying instead of deciding, okay, Sonya Blade is going to be the main character of this movie. It's like, okay, well, we don't want to do that. We want to invent an entirely new character for people who don't know anything about Mortal Kombat, so we're going to invent Cole, and then we're going to spend 20 minutes learning who Cole is, and then Cole's going to be introduced to all these concepts throughout the movie, and we're finally going to get to the point where we start meeting characters we know deep into the film. And I just feel like audiences who were interested in this movie, A, didn't need an audience surrogate, and B, you're alienating the hardcore fans by doing that, because in their mind they're like, I don't know this guy. I don't care about this guy. Why would I care about this guy? You would do better to have the daughter of Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade be the main character. And there's like, oh, there was a Mortal Kombat back in the late 90s, and Johnny Cage fought in that one when he was Van Damme, and like it just felt like, again, it just didn't feel like a cohesive idea. It felt like someone coming in and being like, I can fix it. And it's like, you don't need to fix it. You just need to walk the path.
See, I think the one problem that they ran into with the first movie, unlike the Resident Evil, which we talked about, is in concept they nailed it with the 95 movie.
Yeah.
Because it had everything. It had the characters, it had the tournament, it had everything you needed. It had Liu Kang being
It had Christopher Lambert with white hair.
Oh, he's awesome. Right Alpha Highlander, which is just great.
Playing an Asian man.
Oh, he's so good.
It's good.
And it, had the Temple of Light, had all the stuff you needed in a Mortal Kombat movie. So with the redo, they're like, well, we got to make it gritty. We're going to make it R-rated. And I think they, once again, I think they made a great movie. I think they missed the Mortal Kombat concept of it.
Yeah.
But then this one, they nailed the tournament concept of it. And they actually got that right, where you're like, okay.
So the first movie, I would like to say, was kind of like, someone was like, alright, let's take the characters from Mortal Kombat and try to, make it so we put them in a fantasy story. And so, and it's more, magic-based. And it's, but this new movie was alright, now we actually get to Mortal Kombat because all these characters, know, stuff.
Yeah. So the first one was a setup for this movie.
Yeah. And, what's kind of funny is, I loved it when, Johnny Cage first realized that he might die, and he's like, nah, I'm dipping.
Yeah. That's it, I'm out.
And then he's at the bar, and then he starts glowing blue, and then he, flashes, and then he appears someone, he's like, oh crap, it's real.
Yeah. This isn't up to me.
And that's what I love, is Johnny Cage never actually volunteered.
No.
Yeah.
He just got dragged into it. He actually said no and walked away and never had that, guilty conscience, I should go back. He's like, no, I'm just going to get drunk. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he's there, and he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, the call to adventure denied, and then Sonya Blade's like, the gods don't care if you deny the call to adventure.
That, I thought was, I love that idea.
I also thought that this was the best version of character is devolved to the point where they have to do the con circuit. That's a storyline that we see a lot. I think that this was a better version of that, where it's just he's just sitting in a con, nobody's coming to his booth, and then he packs up all of his stuff and he sees Raiden and he's like, oh, cosplayer. Whatever. I thought that actually really worked.
I love that he said Big Trouble in Little China as the cosplay, which was great.
I thought that was great.
Yeah. And I agree with you. And what I think I heard you laughing too. They did such a great job making a 90s trailer.
Yeah.
For that. What was the name of the movie? It
was Uncaged Fury.
Uncaged Fury, yeah. That was so incredible. It looked like a movie that you would see in the 80s.
just love that they dusted off the New Line logo.
Yes!
For it. It's
the old New Line logo.
All right.
It was so great.
It's good. I like this. This is funny.
Yeah, no,
and
it was...
You have the obligatory putties in the background who are waiting to fight but not doing anything. And you're... again, it was a really clever way to set up not just the character but the expectations within the movie.
Yes.
Because... there aren't multiple people fighting. It's always one-on-one. And so thus you don't have to worry about putties. You just have people either cheering or just there's nobody there or whatever. It's just literally one-on-one. I did find that I did wish that there were more audiences for some of the fights. I felt like it in a lot of the Mortal Kombat stuff I've seen, it feels like, and not always, obviously not always, but it feels like there are some scenes that are made stronger, we'll say, by having an audience of, chuds in favor of Shao Kahn or what have you. So it's just I didn't mind it because, again, it does emulate that idea of a fighting game where you just have two people that just show up at a location. That place the dungeon where Cole dies, that's in every fighting game.
Yeah.
That's in Soul Calibur, it's in Mortal Kombat, it's in Street Fighter, it's in Tekken, it's in every fighting game. And I thought that was great.
I also recognize that dungeon from when Mortal Kombat had that Fortnite collab. That was one of the mini POIs that they made.
That's right.
It was in the basement of some place, and there was scorpions that had a chance to spawn there, and you fought them.
Nice. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember that now. I do have to give a massive shout out. The character design of Baraka.
Yes.
Was so on point and incredible.
I like the Baraka children.
Oh, they were they were so creepy.
The moment Johnny Cage walks into a hut and looks at
But man, he looks so amazing.
Yeah.
And it was I couldn't tell where, and this is, I guess, a good thing. I couldn't tell where the practical effects ended and the digital effects started on that.
Yeah.
Because you could tell there was both.
There was definitely both.
But I couldn't tell which was which.
Yeah.
And they were so, like, that fight scene, it was great with him and
well
Johnny
done.
Cage. It was really, and it was funny, and it was really good action.
I was about to say, they never crossed that line, right? There were a few lines that I was worried about, like, how many people make Barack Obama jokes in the time that character's been out, like it's everywhere. So but none of that here. They didn't do any of that. There wasn't any moment where Johnny Cage was like, oh, Barack Obama. And I love the con that he pulls. I thought that was really fun.
It's quite weird how in the fight scene with that chief of the Brocken clan, and he's like, I want to kill you, and then he's very mad at Johnny, and then all of a sudden, he's like, ha 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 ha, what an awesome fight.
Yeah,
now I want to praise you, and you're good, the chief of our clan.
Well, a lot of those types of, at least in pop culture and movies and in fantasy, clans like Baraka's clan respect fighters. And the fact that Johnny Cage put up such a fight against the strongest fighter in their village, he gained respect by doing that.
In a weird way, it's a Picard moment. It's the same reason that the Klingons like Picard.
Yes.
He knows the rules. Yep. He plays by the rules. And he wins.
Yep.
And so you gotta give it to him. In the same way I gotta give it to Tom Brady. You gotta give it to Johnny Cage. Dude went through 3 houses and stood up and then did 9
that
black
scene
flips.
when he gets knocked out of the one house and falls through the roof of the other, I was dying.
Yeah.
Thought that was the funniest. And Bracken just runs between the walls.
I feel like that Lord of the Rings joke was so perfectly timed because they were on a bridge suspended over lava.
Yes.
And I'm like, why don't you just throw the amulet
I had
in
that
the
thought
lava?
too.
I thought he was going to.
Yeah.
And especially with the Lord of the Rings joke where it's like, one ring to rule them all. You have to throw it in a volcano.
I agree with you. It does make sense, though, that was his introduction of his power set.
Yeah.
Was to destroy the amulet.
True.
Because that's how Johnny Cage's powers came out, is when he had to focus on destroying it. I agree. I had the same thought you had.
The thing is, he uses powers once.
Yeah.
Yep.
that was
happens.
it.
That
And
happens
he was
in
like,
these Mortal Kombat
when
movies.
am I going to get powers?
But
he
if you
uses
remember,
his powers once.
if you remember the last one, it took some fights and everything for everyone to get, except for Kano. He's the only one that got it right away.
Yeah, he got it right away.
Everyone else, it took some time to get it. So it was kind of him going through the stages to get to it. And I'll be honest, I'm kind of glad he didn't have them because it lent more to his, not only his character growth, but the humor.
Yeah.
Where he's like, dude, I'm just an actor.
Well,
I
and
don't have any powers.
That's like, you should both watch the Johnny Cage animated movie if you haven't seen it, and the Mortal Kombat animated movie, because it follows a very similar track of Johnny Cage doesn't believe in any of this nonsense, doesn't have powers, is just a guy, and then gets his powers at the end when it's the most dramatic, important moment where he absolutely has to have them. And until then, he even fights Baraka in that. It's a very similar movie.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
Kind of weird how Sub-Zero, or Shadow Zero, because it's not really
I
Sub-Zero.
think Shadow Zero is a better name for it.
How does he survive his counterpart, who defeated him in the last movie, plus 2 other people, blasting him with, like, magical powers that are extremely powerful?
Yeah.
Well,
How does it...
because they were technically in hell. They were in, like, the dead.
True.
So it's as if, like, Greek mythology, they're in Hades, lair. They're down in the underworld.
True.
That's pretty much the realm they were at.
And I think that there's also the amulet itself was kind of shielding him in a lot of ways.
Yes.
True.
And so it finally is, when it breaks, that's when the power goes through and wipes him out. And so, I like Shadow Zero. I think Shadow Zero is a better name.
That was a good name, buddy.
That's a better name.
So it was as much dumb fun as I was looking to get.
I will say this. For my issues with some of the plotting in the movie and some of the choices, I found Jade's character very hard to follow in terms of her rationale for what she does.
Yeah, I was confused when she broke the head of her staff.
That part really, I didn't know what was going on with
what
that.
side she was on.
Yeah, because she's talking to Shang Tsung and they come up with this plan where he's going to go kill fucking
Raiden,
sorry. And
he heard enough in the movie, he's fine.
And then she breaks her staff, which was alluded to when Jax is fighting her.
Yes.
And then she's on the side of the good guys. And I'm just like, wait, how did that happen? Didn't you just come up with this plan to... Was it to overthrow Shao Kahn? Was that the plan? Was to overthrow Shao Kahn by killing Raiden, and then you were going to destroy the amulet? I didn't understand that.
Like, I was confused by that too, because Shang Tsung said, we can't let the amulet get destroyed because Shao Kahn would lose his power. Yeah. And it's like, well, isn't that what you want?
Isn't that... But that whole scene was so confusing to me. I did not understand the kind of process or rationale for some of the decisions being made in that moment. It just didn't... It made sense when Kano is like, I don't want the world to burn. Here, it was just like, so... She is switching sides and she wants Shao Kahn to fall, but she's not going to go help Kitana. Instead, she's going to go do this other thing, which ends up being what she needs to do anyway. But it just felt disjointed to me. It just didn't make a ton of sense why she did what she did. Yeah. And then at the end, she's a good guy, and you're just like, I don't know that this was earned. I think you did one good, halfway decent thing. I don't know.
In these movies, I'm pretty sure Kano and Jade are kind of like Loki in the Marvel movies, because one time they're evil, one time they're good, and then they're evil again, and then they're good.
Yeah, they're very self-satisfying. They only fight for what brings them joy.
Yeah.
Well, Jade's character,
she was so
fiercely It was kind of a throwaway character.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. You got a brief glimpse of her backstory where she, it's said that she was pulled from a fighting pit.
Yeah.
And she was given this chance. It was very much, like, when I was looking at her and Kitana, it was like watching Gamora and Nebula. Because it's like, this isn't your father.
Yeah.
And you're both trying to please him, but then you want him dead, and then one doesn't, but then she does. And it's like, it was too much comparison. Jade I could have done without.
It just felt disjointed. It just didn't... If you had just spent a little bit more time or explored it a different way, or just justified her changing her mind. There were moments there where you could have those interactions. When Kitana walks by. Yeah. You can have that moment of Jade being like, oh, nuts, I really screwed up. I gotta fix this. I don't know. I just didn't feel like they necessarily always got there.
I think they were trying to make Jade too much like the I can't think the name of them, the protectors in Wakanda. They
are I'm so close, but I can't get it. I can't get my fingers on it.
But like, they had her, she looked the part, she had the bald head, she had the staff. It seemed like they were and then at the end she's sitting next to Kitana on like the protector throne as the second in command. And it was like, okay, are you one of the, like, are you they trying to make you into this type?
Dora Milaje.
The Dora Milaje. Are they trying to make you the Dora Milaje? Because you were pretty much the Dora Milaje in this
movie.
Very
similar. It was like if instead of you had an entire group of the Dora Milaje, it's just Okoye. It'd be like if it was Okoye and Shuri and no one else. And it's just like Okoye wanting Shuri to do certain things and then disagreeing about how everything goes around. I don't know. I thought it was... The problem is I didn't dislike Jade as a character. I just felt that she didn't necessarily serve an effective role within the story. Yeah. And I think that character can be used really well. But here, I just didn't understand her motivations for anything she did.
Yeah. Like that whole ending scene with her in the Netherworld, I was like...
And it wasn't even like she was afraid of Shao Kahn. Like, no. There'd be one thing if she's afraid of Shao Kahn and she doesn't want to disobey him, and so she's serving him out of fear. It's another thing if she truly believes that Shao Kahn is the best way forward and that this is what we need to do. Yeah. It's another if she feels like Shao Kahn is an inevitability, so why fight against it? But none of these were the rationale for why she did anything. And so I don't know why she did anything. She wasn't afraid. She didn't feel hopeless. She didn't seem interested in his plan. I genuinely don't know why she's following.
She seems to me like that character in the third one that won't be there or will be there briefly. Like the well, like either Cole or Rose in the Star Wars movies.
Yes.
How she's a lot in the second one, not really
Just
in the
written
third one.
out of the third
That's
one.
who I see Jade in this,
Yeah.
because it's obvious they're going to make a third one.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm assuming this movie is going to be successful. It looks like it's got great reviews. Well, not by critics, but by
fans.
fit.
I'd be interested if it was something where Jade was like Sindel, where Sindel had been tortured as a way to get to Katana.
Yeah.
And that's why she served Shao Kahn, is because she's been malignified by this necromancer who keeps bringing her back from the dead as a way to punish Katana.
Yeah.
If Jade was like a friend of Katana's who was her bodyguard and died and then was brought back to kind of torture her as another punishment, and that's why she serves Shao Kahn, is because she's a malignant like all these others, and her will is his will, but also she's there to kind of be a thorn in the side of Katana. Like that, again, that could have been something, but I don't know. We're talking in what ifs.
Did they ever say what happened to Sindel?
She says that she was revived by Shao Kahn multiple times in the fight with Sonya Blade. And then she's left with that cage on her head, and Shao Kahn's like, I'm going to crush her head in front of you.
But then he doesn't.
And
but then we
that's the
don't
last
hear
see.
anything.
We don't see anything else of her.
That's the part, like, I was like,
yeah.
Don't you think there'd be, like, some...
I thought there was going to be a Mortal Kombat 2, the original Mortal Kombat 2 reference from Sindel, where she does, like, the long pause.
Oh.
You
will die.
It's like, God, what is happening?
So that was Mortal Kombat 2, folks. We really hope you enjoyed this episode. I know we want to do more of these watch and reviews.